Many boys and girls dream about dancing, and they all want to be the best. Thousands of kids worldwide compete in many different styles of dancing each year. Dancing competitively requires the ability to execute movements with perfection, feel and express the music, and captivate the audience, all while making it look effortless.
My name is Jeanette Christie. I've been professionally dancing since I was 14, but when I was around 6, my older cousin Toya was the one who actually inspired me to dance. She was a dancer and she didn't go on to professionally dance, but she always taught me moves, and from there it just kind of sparked a seed and it grew and grew, and now I'm passionate about it. It's my life. So.
My name is Sarah. I'm 15 years old. I started dancing when I was 5 years old. I think I just kind of always saw people dance. I thought it was really cool, and my mom got me into it. So watching a lot of other people, even just people at the studio, and you see how amazing they are, and you want to be as good as they are.
My name is Maddie. I am 16 years old. I started dancing when I was 3, and I've been dancing now for 13 years. I do all styles. I do tap, jazz, ballet, contemporary, lyrical, all of it. Point. Well, honestly, my mom just signed me up, and she thought I'd look cute in a tutu, and then from there I just kept dancing, and I loved it. There's so many different parts, but I think for me, I just really like that it's an outlet. I can go, and anything that's going wrong in my life, I can just get it out on the dance floor.
My name is Kayla Lovett. I'm 18 years old. I started dancing actually when I was 2.5, so 17 years ago. I originally started actually with karate and basketball, and then my mom decided to put me up for dance, so I tried it and I actually fell in love with it. Honestly, what inspires me to dance so much is the community that I'm with all the time when I dance. It inspires me to be around so many loving people all the time.
My name is Erin Courtney. I am 21 years old. I started dancing about 13 years ago, I believe. I was 8 or 9, so it's been a while. I started dancing because when I was younger, I was never very athletic, so I wasn't really good at soccer or t-ball or anything. So my mom saw an ad for a new studio that was opening, and we registered, and just ever since then, I really, really liked it.
Competitive dancing is not for everyone, though.
My name is Kara, and I'm 17 years old. I started dancing when I was very little, probably 5 or 6, but I took a few years off, and I started again when I was 9. I came back because I started wanting to do it again. I love dancing because it's very freeing, especially after stressful days at school. A lot of my fellow students in my studio did competitive dancing, but it was never something I was very interested in because I did dance because I loved it, not because I wanted to be better at it than other people. I really wanted just to compete against myself.
Every competitive dancer has different reasons and motives behind wanting to compete.
I think I'm a little competitive by nature, so I like to challenge myself too. I love the reward after challenging myself. So hip-hop started off in the streets, like now it's finally made its way into the studio. It's all about who can, dance on the beat better. My first inspiration was Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, and then from there, music videos, things my older cousins would watch. So I love the 90s, like the baggy clothes, and I love that era. And in the music, I love the bounce. It had more bounce to it. It was I loved everything about hip hop. So it just made me gravitate towards it.
So after I danced for about 2 years, I had realized that it was something that I really, really liked. And after practicing a lot, I had spoken with the dance studio teacher, and she thought that starting a new competition team for younger kids would be a good idea. So I was one of the first ones, and ever since then, I really loved it. I had no idea what I was getting into when I first started competition dancing. I just knew that I liked spending time at the studio and figured that it couldn't be a bad thing, and then ever since I started, it's just been all positive. I've been really inspired by my dance teacher growing up because I had never considered the idea of teaching dance until I got older and realized that I spend so much time doing it, and it's so rewarding getting to pass it on to the other kids that I teach. And so I think that it's a combination of my first teacher, Miss Candy Melendez, and all the kids that I teach. They're very inspiring to me, and it's so incredible to see the progress that they make through the year.
I was asked to be on the competition team when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I mean, when you're young, it's always just really fun, so you kind of just stick with it. What I enjoy most about competitive dancing is just the rush that you get when you get on stage and dancing to the judges and seeing their faces when you're dancing. It's just really awesome.
Miss Candy just chose me. There wasn't really a specific thing. It was just one year she's like, hey, you want to be on the competition team? And I said, I have no idea what that means, but sure. I've kind of achieved a lot of things over the past probably 5 years now, but I think my biggest achievement to date probably would be that I represented Connecticut as Team Miss Dance of Connecticut last year, and then I went to nationals and I actually placed in the top 5 at nationals in the country. So honestly, my faith inspires me to dance. I love to use the gifts that God has given me to just to touch other people.
Actually, I was asked to start competition dance. I was pretty nervous at first, and then when I hit the stage, it just felt like natural. And so after that, it just became a habit every year, just continuing on with competition. The difference is the amount of competitiveness, but it's not necessarily a very harsh competitiveness. It's actually kind of a happy competitiveness because you're cheering on for your teammates. The difference would probably be the amount of stress, honestly. When you're at a competition, you're very stressed out, but once you hit the stage, it's just like normal.
Competitive dancers face many struggles and obstacles that they must overcome.
So when you compare competition dancing with just regular, like once or twice a week dancing, a lot of it is a time thing where I spend almost every day at the studio and spend multiple hours practicing, and you have to include technique classes and ballet classes that normally you wouldn't have to worry about. Some of the challenges are you're dealing with a lot of girls and some boys who are going through like puberty, and they all have some attitudes sometimes. I know that I had that problem. And just kind of putting us all together and putting it into a competitive environment can get stressful sometimes. But a lot of the times you get so many great friendships out of it that it's worth it. Thankfully, I avoid injury most of the time. But when we were rehearsing one part of our dance, I had to be on someone's back, and then there was miscommunication and I fell and sprained my wrist. But other than that, and I'm pretty sure I was up dancing relatively soon after that, I've been one of the lucky ones, but there's been lots of injuries. One time when I was teaching a class, and a girl hopped up and tripped over her own feet and broke her arm right there, and she was out of competition for the rest of the year. So stuff like that is really unfortunate, but we try to avoid it.
Well, when you're in competition in general, you're in competition with yourself at some point. So it's a lot of going back and forth and trying to be better than you were.
Some of the struggles for competitive dancing for me is knowing that sometimes you just go on stage, it's just not like that great and you don't do well, but you just gotta accept that. It takes up a lot of time because you have to save like all of your weekends that you have competitions. You can't just do other things on the weekends all the time, and you have extra rehearsals on weekends too for competition dances.
Some of the obstacles probably that I have to overcome is learning a step because I can't get it right away. It's like I get kind of frustrated, but being a perfectionist, I have to get it. So
besides the fact that you just have to continually work hard so that you're growing as a dancer, you also have to deal with the mind games of it. You have to make sure that you don't psych yourself out and don't let people bring you down in the midst of all that. This past year, I strained my hip flexor, so I was out for like 3 weeks, and it's just been a constant battle I feel like sometimes, it stops me sometimes, but you just gotta work through that.
While competitive dancing may be intense and difficult, it also has many positives.
There are so many rewards of doing competition. Getting to spend weekends with your entire team and really putting all your hard work onto the stage and getting high scores, hopefully, it really does repay everything.
Being judged because you now know your capability and what you need to work on. So as a dancer, you can grow from it. Dance is like a family.
The reward of pushing yourself to the next level and knowing that you can always continue to get better.
You really get to know what it's like to be on stage and dancing for other people and to get scored.
Just the relationships and the people you get to touch through dancing.